playing. Welcome inside Coors Field. The Rockies, after a day off yesterday, getting ready to get after the Washington Nationals, and they'll see a lot of the Nationals over the next 2 weeks. 7 games against the team from our nation's capital. Welcome upstairs. Glad you're along, as always, everybody. With George Frazier, I'm Drew Goodman. So hot, we got the short sleeves going.
Yeah, you better believe it.
Today.
It's hot in Colorado.
No question. Well, the Rockies had the walk-off win on Sunday. They got to enjoy it a little bit yesterday. Now they'll face a Washington Nationals team that was outstanding a year ago. They have struggled, particularly offensively, this year.
Surprisingly, too. Now, you got to understand, Harper's been out for a while. Wert's been out for a while. 2 great big bats. But some of the guys that are normally in our lineup, they have suffered a little bit. Jordan Zimmerman with 9 wins right now. I mean, he's off the charts. Everything first in the National League. But other than that, they have struggled when they go out and play baseball. Unfortunately, the home runs you see way down. The average way down. Runs scored. That's the key to me, Drew, is the runs scored. 14th in the league at 216.
Well, there's only one team that has scored fewer runs, the Miami Marlins. We know how poor they have played this year. The other thing that's really hurt the Nationals, George, they've played atrocious defense. They've made the most errors in the National League. They have the poorest fielding percentage in all of baseball.
Now, listen, they strike out a lot of people. I get that, but they put the ball in play typically on the ground, and when you're doing that, you got to be able to make plays for your pitcher.
Now, having said all that, they're still a very dangerous club because there's a lot of talent over there in the visitors' dugout tonight. When we come back, we'll talk about the Rockies' outfield. Speaking of talent, wow. 6 more games on this homestand with the Phils coming in over the weekend before a lengthy road trip where they'll visit Toronto, Boston, and Washington. Well, the Rockies outfield is special. You know they have special talent when you talk about Carlos Gonzalez, one of the few 5-tool players in the game. Dexter Fowler has really emerged as a star-level player. And Michael Kadire, who's done it for a long period of time and enjoying a terrific year. That's a pretty good threesome, George.
It's fun when you sit down here in this lunchroom, in the media room, and scouts walk up and go, boy, 3, 4, and 5. And then you throw all this in here, what they're doing with Dexter, stealing bases, everything he's got coming on right now. Look at what they've done this season. First in home runs, RBIs, on-base percentage. They're in the top 3 in every category in baseball. But let's not forget something here, too, all right? You may have a Gold Glover in center field. You have one in left field, and the one in right field is pretty good, too, in Kadire. And what he's been able to accomplish and the fill-in duties of what Eric has been able to do. But I think defensively, they're one of the best outfields in baseball. Now, you can talk all you want to about offense. I think that's wonderful because you expect that from those threesome. But the defense you're getting has been really good.
Yeah, and not to take anything away from some of the guys that have played when Kadire's been down, the rare occasion that Dexter takes a day off or Cargo takes a day off. But if you just look at the 3 main guys when Cuddy's in there, the numbers are even better than that.
They are better than that, and I think that's what it tells you about the depth of the ball club and what they're able to accomplish with guys when they do have to scatter things around. And I think it's going to get even a little bit better with Tyler Colvin here.
Yeah, and he'll be in the starting lineup today. Michael Kadire very close to coming back to BP out on the field today. We are set for baseball. We know you are as well. It's the Rockies and the Nationals. Come on back to Coors Field with us. Toyota stores, Toyota, let's go places. By King Soopers, more value for the way you live. By 5-hour energy shots. And by Southwest Airlines, find our fares online only at southwest.com. Temperature reached 99 degrees today for the second straight day, a record setter at in downtown Denver. And Julie Chassin to the hill, and he'll work initially against Denard Span, the former Minnesota Twin. He's making adjustments, playing in the National League for the first time. Here's the rest of Davey Johnson's Southwest batting order. He'll have Roger Bernardina in the 2-hole, then Ryan Zimmerman, Jason Worth, Adam LaRoche. LaRoche has really come on offensively. Ian Desmond will bat 6th. He has a 12-game hitting streak. Anthony Rendon will bat 7th and play second base, former high #1 pick. Kurt Suzuki, the former A, will bat 8th, and then Dan Herring Pitcher the Rockies are very familiar with, will bat ninth, and there's Chacín and his numbers. He has not won since April, George.
April the 19th, exactly the last time that he did win. Since 7 starts coming off the disabled list, 0-3, 643 on run average. That due in part to 3 ball games. One here against Frisco, he gave up 8. The last 2, he's given up 5 and 11 in the 3rd inning. He's given up 10 earned runs. So would like to change that going into this ball game tonight. Tonight you're going to see the fastball 62% of the time. He'll try to run and sink it away from the left-handers. Slider will be the put-out pitch that he'll use against right-handers. Back foot, I think, for the Arsenal. And a changeup starting to be used more. He's starting to trust it as he did as a young player because he had a good one.
So here we go. Denard Span will step in, and he takes a strike on the outside corner. I was chatting with Denard in the clubhouse today, and he was laughing. He said, "I'm sorry." He kept pausing. He goes, "I'm out of breath just talking."
Yeah, a lot of guys have a difficult time adjusting to the high altitude, and some obviously a little more difficult than others.
Here's the 1-1 to Span, and it's pulled down the line, and it is a foul ball, fortunately. And it'll be 1-2.
Well, he's only got 6 stolen bases on the year out of 9 attempts, but he can run. You get a ball down into the corner like that, you're almost staring at a triple at the minimum. Sinker down and away. Not a bad pitch by Chacín. It's in the bottom half of the strike zone. Got him out on the front foot, hooked it, just fouled by about a foot.
You know, the last time he was in Denver, Frage, 2002, the Rockies were working him out. It was a pre-draft workout, and they were very interested in drafting Denard. Ended up that he was drafted by the Twins.
Well, a lot of guys want to come here to hit. They want to see the background. They want to see the stadium, see the organization, and it is a good one.
Ground ball to first. Helton's got it. 1 out. Let's take a look at the Rockies defensively, brought to you by Excel Energy. We bring you the energy you need so you can live the life you want. Visit responsiblebynature.com to learn more. In the outfield, it's Cargo, Dexter Fowler, and Tyler Colvin in right field. In the infield, Arenado and Tulowitzki, just 3 errors on the left side. DJ LeMahieu and Todd Helton on the right side. Willeen Rosario behind the plate. And Roger Bernardina takes low, ball 1. The game time temperature is 95 degrees, which ties for the 7th hottest ball game ever here at Coors Field. As I mentioned, it reached 99 this afternoon. The all-time heat record, 100 degrees last year on June the 25th. And guess who was here? The Washington Nationals.
And what I heard from Mark Stout earlier, this is the direction of the wind. And the ball typically carries into the bullpen anyway. So when you get that big swirl, don't be surprised if some balls get carried out into that bullpen today on a normal fly ball.
2-1 on Bernardina, who is a member of the Netherlands team during the World Baseball Classic. And he bounces it to LeMahieu, who gets a convenient hop. 2 gone. Here's today's injury report, brought to you by Connect for Health Colorado. You may recall 2 days ago, Edgemar Escalona had to leave the ball game, and he has a tricep elbow issue. He was placed on the disabled list. Josh Outman, who was just sent out a couple of days ago, was recalled. So the Rockies again will have 2 lefties in their bullpen, Outman and Rex Brothers. And the pitch to Ryan Zimmerman misses, ball 1.
Obviously a guy that throws strikes. I know he'd struggled into the ball game, but missing everything by a good 20 feet. He was done. I mean, he didn't even want to have a conversation.
One ball, 1 strike on Ryan Zimmerman. Speaking of battling injuries, he's battled a shoulder situation, his right shoulder. surgery last year, and it's really affected his throwing. He has 11 errors this year, and he's one of the best fielders at third base in the game. He has 11 errors. Only one of those is a fielding error. He has 10 throwing errors.
That's shocking.
And the 2-1 is drilled to right center field. That's in the wind tunnel, and it's going to hit off the very top of the wall. Chacin caught a break there. Very easily could have flown out. It's a 2-out double. And that's not a surprise. Zimmerman, a career .368 hitter at Coors Field.
And this year, for the first time, Chacin's earned run average at home, 5.65, due in part to those 3 ball games against the Dodgers, Giants, where he had struggled, in Padres. You see this ball come on just shy of getting out of the ballpark, but you're right. I mean, it caught up into that wind tunnel, hit well by Zimmerman.
Yeah, Chacin didn't even want to turn around and look. Zimmerman with his 8th double of the year, and that'll bring up Jason Worth.
One of their bigger bats they're looking for production from, Jason Worth, this year has really struggled with a couple of outs. And I understand he's been hurt, but an .071 average with runners in scoring position and 2 outs.
One 1-0 on the former Philly, Jason Worth, and that's in 2-0. Let's take a look at Davey Johnson's staff. He's got Tony Tarasco at first, Trent Jewett at third base. His pitching coach is Steve McCaddy. He's been there for a while. Rick Eckstein, who's one of the better hitting coaches in baseball. David Eckstein's brother, Jim Lett, is in the bullpen. Close friend to Jim Tracy's. 2-1.
Jimmy worked for Jim Tracy in Los Angeles and took him over to Pittsburgh with him also.
Worth has 5 home runs, which matches his total from last year. Now, he played half a season because of injuries, 300 at bats, but he signed that big deal and obviously did not hit many long balls. 3-1. Rockies fans, text Toyota followed by your question to 720-720, and we'll answer as many of your questions as we can during Toyota Talk in the 5th inning. Top of the 1st inning, just underway. 2 outs, Zimmerman at second base after doubling. 3-1 on Worth. And he went slider, and it was a wicked one.
Well, when you are struggling as a hitter, the one thing you're going to look for in a 3-1 count is fastball. So the ability to entice a swing on a pitch, even though that ball ran out of the zone, it was for, watch on the Mike Shaw Subaru Supermo. As that ball approaches the plate, it's setting about knee high. So he's thinking fastball and then just swung completely out away from the baseball.
And it may show up again right here. 3-2. No, he went fastball and he missed. And now they're 2 on for Adam LaRoche.
LaRoche hasn't done much damage against Chacin in his career. He's hit just 200. He's got the most at bats of anybody in the lineup with 10 against him. He's 2 for 10. 4 strikeouts. And I think this is one of those guys, Drew, that's a dead red fastball hitter. If you can off-speed him and you could go with that slow slider, mixed slider speed from 79 to 84, and then throw the changeup behind it, he's a guy you could get to roll over on fairly easy.
Dangerous man, though. 33 home runs, 100 driven in last year. And that's off the plate.
Very upright stance. Hands look really relaxed, but you watch when he gets prepared to swing the bat, how quick his hands get into a great hitting position.
He won a Silver Slugger Award last year, also captured a Gold Glove at first base. The 1-0. And that's ball 2.
Just missing off the corner of the plate versus letting the ball start in the middle and run to the corner. He's trying to entice a swing from a ball from the corner off. me, a guy like LaRoche is looking middle half in and trying to pull everything. I mean, he's wanting to pitch right here in this area. That ball sailed away from him, didn't get to it very quickly. Well, I'm sure it's tough right now, too, with the shadows. I mean, with the pitcher standing in the sunlight, batter in the shadows makes it hard to pick the ball up.
It's a good look at it right there. 2 balls and a strike on LaRoche. He had a miserable April, hit just 136 in April, but he's hitting above 330 since May the 1st. Got him on the inner half at 92, and it's a 2-2 count.
3 straight fastballs away, 2 missed, 1 is fouled off. That's pretty good heat. I mean, it's in, it's down, it's got a lot of movement on it. Into the hot zone for LaRoche, just down about 6 inches below the knees.
Two. Well, no Bryce Harper this week for the Nationals. They figure he'll be back in about a week. He was due to come off the disabled list today for Davey Johnson. He has bursitis in his knee. It is better, but he's not ready to play. And Steven Strasburg threw a 4-inning simulated game today. It went very well, and they think he'll start on Sunday, the day he's scheduled to come off, but he would have gone Thursday. So good for the Rockies, I guess bad for the fans who want to see 2 of the biggest stars in the game, in Harper and Strasburg. And with Harper out of the lineup when he does not start, the Nationals are a different club. They're 7-14, and that includes the doubleheader sweep of the Twins on Sunday. They were 5-14 prior to that.
And I'll say this also, it's the attitude he brings, I think, that lifts his club also.
High energy.
Play the games hard. Plays it the right way.
Just missed, and now it's full.
Ooh.
And you'll have Zimmerman and Worth in motion. So Chacin, who got the first 2 guys out reasonably quickly, Span and Bernardina, now is looking at a 25-plus pitch inning.
That 2-2 pitch was a good fastball inside. I don't know how LaRoche laid off of it. You mentioned LaRoche's numbers in April, hitting in the hundreds. His career April average 212. Slow starter, strong finisher.
Another 3-2 and a bouncing ball to second. No harm done. Took 27 pitches for Chacin to navigate the first inning. We'll see the Rockies on offense when we return. Nationals, 37-19 all time, which is the best record for the Rockies against any National League team by percentage. Dexter Fowler has been cooking. 4 hits, including the walk-off game winner on Sunday. And he'll lead things off for Walt Weiss. Here's the rest of the Southwest batting order. Nolan Arenado this evening will bat second. Then it's Cargo and Tulowitzki. Todd Helton will slide into the 5th spot. Willeen Rosario will follow. Tyler Colvin getting his first start since returning to the big leagues. DJ LeMahieu will bat 8th, and then Chacin. Dexter Fowler leading all leadoff hitters with slugging percentage. He's up there in on-base percentage. And he'll face Dan Herron, the former Diamondback, Angel, and Oakland A. And one thing you know with Dan Herron, George, you better swing the bat. He's not going to walk you.
Only 9 walks this year in 62 2/3 innings. 4-7 overall record. In his last 5 starts, he has received 8 runs of support. And you start to break down some of those starts that he had. I mean, I guess you look at when he went 7 innings, 7 1/3, 2 runs, 7 innings, 2 runs, gets beat. So he's had a difficult time these last 5 starts. He did get beat up in the last start. 4 innings, 7 hits, 5 runs. He gave up 3 home runs. That was against the New York Mets. They beat him 10-1.
And that's been the problem. You mentioned the 3 home runs of the 7 hits the Mets had. He's given up a league most 15 home runs this year. Here's the 1-2. The thing with Herron is he works ahead because he's a premier strike thrower, and then he gets you in the split finger count.
Gets you to chase balls out of the zone. What's impressive about him is you look at what he tries to do. The slider predominantly equal to the fastball. Then he'll throw the split finger. Well, Roach will make a play on the ball at first base. But as you look at the rest of what he likes to throw and see how difficult it is at times. I mean, he'll throw the curveball, but not very often. It's mostly split fastball slider. The variance of speed, not much. 84 miles an hour on the splitter to 85 on the slider to just 89 on the fastball. So that's average. So as a hitter, not a lot to adjust to velocity-wise, but movement.
Yeah, and his velocity has dropped off a little bit. You think back to his days with the A's and the Diamondbacks. He was a guy that would sit on 92 and touch 94, 95.
2,008 innings pitched in his career.
That's down the line. That's a fair ball with funky spin. Arenado should get a double out of this. He hit it off the very end of the bat. And you know what? We talk so much about how many hard hit balls he had his first few weeks that found gloves. He's owed a couple of those.
Absolutely is. I mean, you look on the year, how many balls he hit to the wall, particularly that first 2 weeks. This is off the end of the bat. And watch how this ball's going to spin on the Mike Shaw Subaru Super Mo off the end of the bat. I mean, this ball's going to carry down the line. And when it does carry, the spin is so strong that it just spins around the first base bag and dies out at the grass area.
With that double, he's now got a 6-game hitting streak, hitting .423 during that stretch. What an at-bat on Sunday for Carlos Gonzalez. In the bottom of the 9th inning, down 7-5, an 0-2 count, and he launches a double. And Georgie had struggled that afternoon and the previous afternoon offensively, but when the chips were down, he delivered.
As usual. Versus San Diego, once again, the Rockies' difficulty with runners in scoring position appeared at .218 average.
One.
Wouldn't be surprised to see 3 straight split fingers from Herron. Soft away is the way you see a lot of guys that throw like Herron. What they like to do is to take the ball away and reduce velocity.
One out, Arenado at second. Splitter is in, and it's 2-2. Cargo this year, his line drive percentage consistent with 2010 when he won a batting title. It's close to 21%. The league average is 20%. His walk percentage is the highest of his career, almost 12% of the time. But his strikeout percentage is higher than it's ever been, at 25%, 25.1%. By comparison, it was at 21% again in 2010 when he hit .336 and captured the National League batting crown. Two and two. And he got him with a heater up high.
Elevated fastball at 89, but when it's elevated like that, it looks like 99.
2 outs. Tulowitzki will come up. Time for the big hit presented by Mako, the company that repairs all kinds of hits. We go back to Sunday, 10th inning. Ground ball up the middle. Dexter knew it. DJ LeMahieu pinch running for Helton scores, and the Rockies 8-7 winners. Check out your local Mako for collision repairs and auto painting for as low as $349. Visit Mako.com today. Both Tulowitzki and Gonzalez have had their moments against Herring. Tulo at 265, but he owns 3 home runs. Cargo at 389 before that at bat with 3 home runs. Well, in the first inning on Sunday, Tulowitzki went deep. 16th home run of the year for Tulowitzki. He also later in the game would produce his 16th double of the year. Troy got locked up on a curveball. Troy hitting .400 at home this year. And that's what he's hit against the Nationals over his last 21 here at home as well, right at .400. And there's the home batting averages, the top 5 in the National League. A couple of Dodgers on there. That's going to go to the backstop, and Arenado will move to third.
Very worried about obviously getting a ball out over the plate and in.
Scored a wild pitch.
As it should be. I mean, missed very badly. Suzuki, a very good receiver behind the plate, spun him completely around that far away as he tried to go out and get the baseball.
And he strikes out Tulowitzki. So Gonzalez and Tulowitzki go down swinging, and the Rockies leave a runner in the first inning in scoring position. We'll go to the second, no score. Desmond, out of the 6th place in the lineup for Washington, will face Jolie Chassin. Today's sideline report is brought to you by the Honey Smoked Fish Company. Secrets in the fire. It's a ready-to-eat superfood as we check in with Mark Stout. Mark?
All right, guys, let's give you another injury update on Michael Kadire. Tyler Colvin to my right getting the start in right field. Kadire on his off day had an MRI on that rib cage area. He said he got peace of mind. It's just a bruised rib area, not a strained rib cage, nothing like that. Says he can't hurt it anymore. Of course, when I talked to him in the clubhouse, he said, you know, you can't wrap it, and he's not going to get it shot up like football players do. So he said a little bit more time. He should be back to 100%. Took BP today, hit a bunch of balls out of the park, also threw the ball around. So he's getting closer, but he said he's happy about things. He also said when you have a bruised rib cage, it's tough to sneeze and do some everyday things as well. So he should be back. He's hoping tomorrow.
Yeah, he's hoping to start tomorrow. He has,
Wow, where was that?
inside evidently. He would be available tonight. Just off the plate. 1 ball, 1 strike. Good life on that fastball again at 92. Ian Desmond last year had 4 home runs against Rockies pitching in 8 games. He had 433. Riding a 12-game hitting streak, and that one just missed. 2-2. Well, that was a borderline pitch.
Yeah, I thought it was. Thought the one before that was good too. Trying to figure out how he's taking it. It's the crazy thing about it.
I thought Wallin got a little quick with that, George, in terms of catching the baseball and throwing it back. Sometimes you gotta really got to frame it for the umpire. Home plate umpire is Bob Davidson tonight. Jim Reynolds at first, James Hoy at second, John Hirschbeck's at third. 2-2. And another deep count, 3-2. And ball 4, leadoff walk.
Confidence in the breaking ball, and that's what he went to. An 83-mile-an-hour slider, just a late yank out of the zone.
Anthony Rendon will come up. Danny Espinoza has been the starting second baseman the last couple of years. Well, he's hitting only 158. Now he's on the disabled list. He has a chipped bone in his wrist. Rendon's come up, done a nice job. He profiles more as a third baseman. He played only 8 minor league games at second base. 6th pick in the draft out of Rice University in 2011.
Till you learn what he can and cannot hit. Because they're AAA teams in the International League, so you don't see them. They're AA teams in the Eastern League, you don't see them. You have to rely on your pro scouts who have that organization and the reports they have on him, and of course reports you have from the draft and what he did. So sometimes it takes that spin through the league to figure out what works, what doesn't work to get him out.
Well, that's a base hit. And now you have 2 Nationals on with nobody out. Rendon has reached in 10 straight ball games. Kurt Suzuki will come up. Suzuki came from the A's last August in a trade. 3 for his last 18 at the plate. Chassin needs a ground ball here.
Throwing the ball hard. 88 to 93 miles an hour. When he really wants to put some sink on the ball, he'll drop the velocity down, creates a lot more movement.
0-1, and the slider wasn't a particularly good one, but it got the top of the zone, so it's 0-2.
Sometimes when you don't try to make the perfect slider, you get away with it because of the movement, the elevation of it. Hitters lay off of it. A little bit to the side. See the fingers right there to the side of the baseball? When you do that, you get a side rotation versus a biting rotation on the slider.
Ground ball to third. Arenado grabs it on the move, throws to first, double. Suzuki just beat it. How about that play by Arenado?
Todd thought he had it. Walt's going to talk about it.
I thought he had it too.
Well, I did. Yeah, I did, because Todd never comes off the bag like that quick. It's a very strong throw.
We'll have to slow it down.
I'm going to tell you, I think the guy's out. I really do. Foot hadn't hit the bag. Foot hadn't hit the bag yet. Here's Todd trying to get to the baseball. He's out.
Yep.
Foot's not down yet. Mike Shaw Subaru, thank you. On the Super Mo, could we please lend that just for a minute to Jim Reynolds?
One out. Dan Herron, who's a good athlete, typically handles the bat pretty well. He's hitting 190. He's at the plate.
Got some power. Somebody you can't just think automatic out on. Got an RBI on the year.
Good decision by Rosario. You had good speed at second base. Rendon had already gotten within 15 feet of the bag. Rosario eyeballed him, and a really smart play by Willeen not to grab this baseball.
Yeah, because it's right out front. Although if he does, I mean, it's one of those situations, you got one out, and he's going to be in that bunting situation again. You know, it's early in ball games. If it does stay out there long enough for you, you don't want to let it roll the way the spin's working. Catch a clump of dirt and come back on you, get bases loaded.
Slug bunt was on, and it swung on and missed.
Slider. It's one of the hard pitches to slug bunt on because it's moving away from you right on right.
You see the numbers. Time a pitcher's north of 200. He's got a couple long balls. A lot of time in the American League also. Pretty impressive. And he gets this bunt down. And Chassin's got to go to first. So there are 2 outs. And that'll bring up Denard Span, who hit a ground ball to Helton his first time. 1-4 on the sac bunt by Herron. Where will you find your 3 numbers? Text pick 3 to 720-720 for your chance to win great prizes from Root Sports, the Colorado Lottery. During tonight's game, we'll randomly pick one winner. Don't forget to visit a Colorado Lottery retailer to play pick 3, the new game from the Colorado Lottery, where 3 lucky numbers are all you need to win. Chassin dealt with some traffic in the first inning, and dealing with it again in the second, trying to emerge unscathed again. Typical of a veteran player who changes leagues. Span's put up a solid average, 272. Said it's really been an adjustment, learning all the new pitchers. This ball's ripped to right. This will score 2. Only made an adjustment there, and it's 2-0 Washington. Span with RBIs 17 and 18.
See where this pitch was. See how far back Rosario reached for that? Reached back to the middle of the plate. You'll see it on the Mike Shaw Subaru Supermo. If you watch Willeen in the background, he's wanting that ball down and away, so he reaches back. Now, I understand only about 6 inches, but that goes from corner to the middle of the plate. The lefty put a spanking on it to right field.
12 doubles for Span. 2-0 Nationals. Roger Bernardina takes ball 1.
And the pitch count continues to climb too. The 2 first innings here for Chassin has been long. 46 pitches thrown, 26 in the first. Wasn't that what you said? 26, I think, in the first inning. 20 this inning. It's not over.
And a soft liner back at Chassin. In the inning, there was a walk, a single and a double, a couple of runs for the Nationals, middle of 2. 2-0 Nats. Nationals leading 2-0. Bad break for the Rockies. Missed call at first base. It would have been 2 outs and Dan Herron at the plate. Instead, Denard Span ended up coming up, and he burned the Rockies with that 2-run double. Todd Helton will lead it off for Colorado here in the second against Herron. Register now for your chance to win tickets to Rascal Flatts with special guest the band Perry on July 25th at Cheyenne Frontier Days. You'll also be entered to win baseball packages, a ton of other prizes. So for official rules and to enter, visit cfdrodeo.com/Rascal Flatts. One 1-0 on Helt. And it's 2-0 on Todd. Helt just 4 for 23 lifetime against Dan Herron. Again, the Rockies used to see Herron on a regular basis in 08 and 09 when he was pitching for the Diamondbacks.
Yeah, particularly playing inside the division, you're going to see him at least 3 different times during the course of the season.
Came up with the Cardinals, 2 years with St. Louis, then on to Oakland for 3, Arizona for 2, Angels for 2, and now the Nationals. 3-1. He signed a 1-year, $13 million deal to move back to the National League. And they have him kind of slotted basically as the 4th or 5th starter. I mean, you have Gio Gonzalez, Strasburg, and Jordan Zimmerman. Zimmerman hoping for a play, and he'll have one.
Well, you got to stay with it. Remember, Mark Stout gave us, and you can see the flags, the 2 white Rockies flags down the left field corner, how they are just howling to the right field side. So when a ball's in there like that, you've got to stick with it. And the reason you stick with it is because the wind's going to push it right back over. And that's what happened here. That ball's normally in the seats, not tonight. It's in the glove of Zimmerman.
Good looking play on the Mike Shaw Subaru Super Bowl. I see if Zimmerman does make the play, the kid's going to make the play.
This guy right here's got it the whole way.
And the ladies like, oh my goodness, the kid had no problem though. Ball 1 on Willeen Rosario. Rosario has never faced Herron. 2 for 9, home run and a double so far on this homestand.
A lot of teams will lean off with sliders. Herron started him off with a split finger instead of throwing him a fastball. Came back at 88 with a cutter, but the thing is his cutter is a lot like a fastball, and the speed variance is only 2 miles an hour, so it becomes hittable to a guy like Willeen.
And that was a splitter again. George, he's one of those guys. He's almost becoming Bronson Arroyo, where he doesn't throw anything straight.
Nothing straight, and really not anything particularly hard anymore. He just pitches.
Yeah. 2-1. And that ball is in the air to shallow center. Span has got it. 2 outs. The Nationals defensively are brought to you by Excel Energy. Make the choices that fit your life, and Excel will provide you the energy to power it. Visit responsiblebynature.com to learn more. Roger Bernardina, Denard Span, and Jason Worth. Ryan Zimmerman, Ian Desmond, Anthony Rendon, Adam LaRoche in the infield, and Herron throwing to Suzuki. Again, Zimmerman has made 11 errors. Ian Desmond made 7 early, though he's gone more than 40 games without an error. Rendon's made 5 errors in 12 games.
And it's not because of the fields.
No.
They're good fields. A lot of things over anxious a little bit, maybe not position foot wise, make the bad throw.
1-1. Tyler Colvin hitting with 2 outs. Last year he tormented Nats pitching. 11 for 24, 3 home runs, 9 driven in just 6 games.
The other thing Dan Herron does a good job of is controlling the pace of the game. Hesitation at stop at the top of his delivery, but everything's very slow. Everything's not going to move around quick on the mound. You watch him, he's going to fix dirt, he's going to lick the fingers, walk to the backside, he's going to relax a lot on the mound. And it can be a slow pace game, but it's the pace he wants to be at.
One, 2. I was watching Colvin, talking about what you were saying with how he delivers the baseball. He pauses at the top. A lot of Far Eastern pitchers do that. And then it throws off the timing mechanism for a hitter. And that's what Colvin's trying to find right here. Strike 3. Dan Herron works a 1-2-3 second inning. That's his 3rd strikeout. And the Nationals have a 2-0 lead as we go to the 3rd. Root Sports on Twitter at @RootSports_RN to find out how you and a friend can win complimentary passes to the All-Star Bowling Bash on June 13th, featuring Dexter Fowler and Eric Young. For more information and to get tickets to the event, call 714-0755. Strike one on Ryan Zimmerman. 3, 4, and 5 in the Nationals order here in the third. And Chacín needs a quick and efficient inning. He's thrown 49 pitches through 2 innings. Gave up a double to Zimmerman in the first. It came within a foot of leaving the ballpark in right center field. Again, no Bryce Harper for the Nationals, still on the disabled list. Chacín misses in. It's 2-2.
Movement on your fastball is good, but not having command of that movement is difficult. And that's kind of what Chacín's ran into here. He's throwing 4 pitches. It counts 2-2 because of foul balls to even the count up. Zimmerman's helped out a little bit.
Arenado comes down the line and he'll make the catch. 1 out. Who wants tacos? Remember, when the Rockies score 7 runs during any game, go to participating Colorado Taco Bell locations the next day between 4 and 6 and get your Rockies taco special. Hope you went yesterday. Jason Worth walked his first time and he takes a strike. Nationals last year were second in the National League in home runs. Just 10th this year. And again, they have had trouble scoring. Only the Marlins have scored fewer runs this year than Washington. This is a team that won 98 games last year with a terrific offense and an outstanding rotation.
Well, a great rotation, and Strasburg shut down at the very end to try to save the arm, and he comes up with a back injury here late or early in the part of the season. Missed the time here. Worth with a ground ball to Arenado. He'll skip it across to help as planned. Yep. With the sun in that backdrop and get the out.
Well, the Nationals last year played 4 games in Coors Field. They split, but it wasn't because their offense was lagging. They scored 35 runs in 4 games. He had 352, 10 home runs. Unfortunately, the Rockies put up a lot of offensive numbers as well. Adam LaRoche at the plate with 2 outs. LaRoche bounced to second to end the first inning with 2 men on. Shift is on for LaRoche, and he hits it the other way. Base hit.
The defense set to the right side. Everybody anticipating the ball hit to the right side. Out of 51 hits for LaRoche this year, only 14 have shot to the left side. He beat the defense with that one.
Ian Desmond, he walked leading off last inning. Well, Josh Renicky, who did a fine job for the Rockies last year and has moved on, now pitching for the Twins. He and Ian Desmond are brothers-in-law, and they got to hook up over the weekend with the Twins in our nation's capital. They're really good friends also. And Ian was saying before the game,
well,
he
they
said,
ought to be. I mean, they're brother-in-laws.
Right, brother-in-law. And he said, yeah, it was good to see Josh. He reminded me of how good a multi-sport athlete he was again.
And he was.
And he was.
That's right.
Played football, wide receiver at UCLA.
Yeah, it wasn't like he played, you know, he didn't play Division II. This was UCLA
that
he played this in.
They did not get to face each other this particular trip. When you talk about overall talent at shortstop in the National League, certainly really in all of baseball, it begins with Troy Tulowitzki. He's head and shoulders above everybody. But next in line in terms of overall talent, maybe this kid, George.
Very good hitter, very good defender typically. Turns the double play well. Good guy in the locker room. Well liked by his peers, not just his teammates.
Two outs. Here's the 1-2 with the runner going, and it's hit in the air to shallow center. Dexter will make the catch, and Washington's retired in the third. The Nationals have a 2-0 lead on the Denard Span double.
Nationals 2-0, a heat wave in Denver. Hot day today. It hit 99 again in the afternoon. The actual game time temperature at first pitch, 95 degrees. And that makes the top 13 list now of the warmest Rockies games in the history of the franchise. That falls in at number 7 at 95. The Rockies, until tonight we'll see, 7-5 in the previous 12 games. There were 6 in the day, 6 in the night. Now this is the 7th night game. And guys, it's hard to believe that, 7-8 weeks ago, game time temp of 23 degrees, we were shoveling snow. I talked to Adam Ottavino today, and he said, I was in right field on Sunday, and I could just see Justin Upton of the Braves with his ski mask on and 3 layers, and the steam coming up off of the outfield grass. That's how recent it was to him, thinking in his memory, Drew and George.
And you actually got smarter on this hit out of the stands. You were in the sun, now you're in the shade.
Correct.
We probably got up a little higher. We have a breeze.
And it's 91 degrees now, so it's starting to come down a little bit. We're still in the 90s here at 7:34 in the night.
It beats 91 in Shreveport.
It does.
2-2. Or George, with all due respect to your fine town, it beats 91 in Tulsa.
Yeah, you better believe a lot of humidity there. I pulled through Goodland, Kansas yesterday as I was driving to the Springs yesterday afternoon. 106 degrees. Goodland, Kansas yesterday. Of course, that was on the car. I mean, I didn't get out and stick a thermometer out. Didn't want to. But they need water down there. I hope some rain comes through, obviously, for the farmers. I really do. You ever been to Peyton, Colorado? I went through Peyton yesterday off 24. Nice little cut through down through the mountains. It was nice.
Southeast part of the state, right?
It is about, I'm guessing 25 miles from Colorado Springs on Highway 24.
Okay.
stopped at about 2:30 to have a hot dog. Why are you surprised?
I'm not at all. 1 out, Chassin coming up. I thought you usually have like the little microwave in the back of the car that cooks up those hot dogs.
When it's that hot, I just put them on the roof and dry. lock in your games. Yeah, lock in your games this summer with the summer 6-pack. That's right. Pick any 6 ball games, including fireworks and the Red Sox, and get up to 40% off. Call the Rockies, 303 Rockies, Rockies.com/specials if you jump on your computer.
2-strike count on Chassin. And a 3-strike count on Chassin. You're not allowed to stick around after that. That's 4 strikeouts, first time through for Dan Herron. Auto glass damage, call Safelite Auto Glass, America's vehicle glass experts, 303-287-5000, or go to safelite.com. Dexter Fowler, one of 4 Rockies that has at least 10 home runs and is hitting at least 300. Cargo, Tulo, Michael Kadire, and Dexter. And there's only one other team. That's 4 guys, right? There's only one other team in baseball that has 2. That's the Baltimore Orioles with Chris Davis and Adam Jones. Dan Herron has retired 8 in a row since the double by Arenado. 2-0 Washington. Brought to you by the all-new Ford Escape, the smarter way to get there. Ford Escape, go further. By Southwest Airlines, find our fares online only at southwest.com. By CenturyLink, your link to what's next. And by the Honey Smoked Fish Company, secrets to the fire, it's a ready-to-eat superfood. Rockies trailing the Nationals 2-0. Anthony Rendon, Kurt Suzuki, and the pitcher Dan Herron to face Chassin in the 4th. And Rendon hits this one to right center field. Yeah, the wind really moved that ball probably about 40-50 feet deeper and to the right.
This was a weak fly ball to right center. And watch Dexter take off on the angles, keep floating, floating. I guarantee the wind pushed that ball 25 feet.
Good communication out there. You could hear it on one of our microphones. Dexter let Tyler Coleman know, I got it. Kurt Suzuki takes a strike on the inside corner. Yeah, you go back the last few years, this may catch some people by surprise, but you go back over the last 5+ years in baseball, there's only one guy who started more games behind the plate than Kurt Suzuki, and that's Yadier Molina. Ground ball to Tulowitzki, shuffles his feet, takes his time, throws out the Washington catcher by a couple of strides. 2 outs, and that'll bring up Herron. Wells Fargo customers get your 2-for-1 Rockies club level seats today by going to wellsfargo.com/Rockies. Wells Fargo Bank member FDIC. Dan Herron got a sac bunt down in the 2nd inning. And then Denard Span followed with a line drive to the right field wall that brought home 2 runs.
Last one, looks like the second pitch may have caught the zone 2, but called a ball by Bob Davidson. This one thrown right by Dan Herron. Yeah, Chacin looks like he has picked up his pace of the game. Chacin typically is not somebody that works extremely fast. Herron with a line drive to right. Drew, it doesn't surprise me. I mean, he can hit.
Well, with 2 outs, he's aboard for Denard Span. He stayed on that slider, George.
Stayed right on it, too. Look at that ball breaking away from him. They're very quiet with the lower half of his body and just threw the bat at him. See this ball just shoot over the top of Todd Helton out into right field. When it hit, it had kind of a funny spin. It jumped back towards the center field area.
Span takes a strike, 1-1. So the Rockies were finishing batting practice. The Nationals were stretching. Denard had an opportunity to visit for a few minutes with his old teammate Michael Kadire. Of course, Span just played Minnesota over the weekend. Other than Morneau and Mauer, not too many familiar names left in Minnesota.
Things are starting to be moved along. Money for one reason, and others for more. And the one thing Terry Ryan's got to do is he took his back seat to Bill Smith for a while as Smith came up through the ranks there and was working as a assistant GM and baseball operations guy, and he got the opportunities. They're going to have to rebuild their minor league system with some talent. They've struck out on some #1 picks of late.
Strike 3 on the inside corner. The Span goes down looking. Chacin is saved through the 4th inning. The Nationals leading 2-0. Rockies trying to figure out Dan Herron. Nolan Arenado, Carlos Gonzalez, Troy Tulowitzki. Here's our CenturyLink What's Next. It's brought to you by CenturyLink. The Rockies have a home series against Philadelphia, and then it's a lengthy road trip. 3 in Toronto, 4 in Washington, a day off in Beantown, and then a 2-game set against Boston. Boston will play very late in the year in Denver. The Rockies will come home on the 27th. That's not an off day, by the way. We don't have it on our original calendar, but that's the makeup game against the Mets.
Yeah, 4:10 start, by the way, here at the ballpark.
Arenado has the only hit for the Rockies, and it's not exactly as if that ball was blistered. He hit it off the end of the bat, and it kind of cued its way down the right field line, first base line.
On a ball away from him, hit right off the edge of the bat, stayed on the edge of the foul line. You know, he was the one guy that took advantage of first pitch swinging against Dan Herron. The league is 19 of 33 when that is done now. That's a pretty big number. A lot of rosin here to get a grip on it. Look at it come off the hand and the ball of Dan Herron. He's trying to, a lot of times what happens, you say, what does rosin do for you? If you've got a good sweat going and you get rosin, particularly the rock rosin, the yellow rosin that violinists use, it becomes sticky on your hands. It's perfectly legal, but it makes you help you grip the baseball much better.
So far in this game, Dan Herron's got 2, 3, 4 ground balls. He has 4 strikeouts. The reason I mentioned the ground balls is he used to get a fair number of ground balls. This year, the ball's been in the air frequently. We talked about the fact that he leads the National League in allowing home runs with 15. His ground ball percentage this year is the lowest of his career. But apparently tonight he's got very good stuff. (2-0) on Cargo. He struck out his first time. (2-1).
Right on the outside corner, yet I thought low. I mean, that looks low, but Suzuki really extended out to keep it in the very, very bottom of that strike zone. The pitcher's pitch.
He has stayed out of the middle of the plate.
Everything to that inner half has been hard. When he goes soft away is when he has the ability to get him to chase on the ball away. They're going back in again. Cargo's such a smart hitter. You continue to have that pattern with him, somebody's going to get a souvenir in right field before the night's over.
Another 2-2, and he struck him out again. 5 strikeouts for Herron.
It's where he takes the ball away from him, and you watch the late movement on this pitch. Take it right out of the hand and see it that it's a cutter that backs up. It's not really a true cutter because the ball backs up because it's difficult to finish at times. When you do that, it'll have like a off-speed sinker.
Tulowitzki struck out his first time. 2 outs, nobody on. And a base hit. That ends the run of 10 straight retired by Dan Herron. A 2-out single for Tulowitzki, who now has a 4-game hitting streak.
Ball, a split finger out over the plate away from Tulowitzki, out on the front foot. Strength got this ball through the infield. Strength at bat speed. Base hit for Tulo.
Hilton fouled out down the third base line. Nice catch by Ryan Zimmerman his first time. That's a strike. Todd has a career average of .374 against the Washington Nationals / Montreal Expos. There's only one player in history to have a higher batting average against those franchises. Will go down here, and that was Sean Casey. You know, Dan Herron is inducing ground ball after ground ball when he's not striking guys out. 2-0. Back. There's only a couple runs in this ball game. Dan Herron's been outstanding. Denard Span a 2-out double. Back in the second inning to bring home Anthony Rendon and Kurt Suzuki. Cooney Lexus, where luxury has a new address, now open in Greenwood Village. Always a good night to be at Coors Field. Nice crowd on hand. The Rockies 6th in attendance in the National League.
A great night to have been. The ball club's winning baseball games. You're playing quality baseball. Your crowds will go up, as they should.
Drawn over 1.1 million so far. Roger Bernardino leading off, then Ryan Zimmerman and Jason Worth against Chacin. He has yet to have a 1-2-3 inning. Last inning, he gave up a 2-out single to Dan Herron and then struck out Denard Span. And this is tough play.
You know, I don't know how he would have seen it. How did he see it?
Bernardino safe at first.
Jim Reynolds is even looking there to see what happened. I don't know if Todd got him or not. Of course, Walt's got a great look at it. You know, that's the other side of it. Walt's looking right up the line here, too. Let's see if Todd grabs it. I can't tell there.
Did see a big protest from Todd. That was a tough play.
Yep,
yeah,
didn't get there. Yep. Tried to sell it, though. Trying to sell a little swamp real estate.
Bernardino with an infield hit. Zimmerman at the plate. He takes strike one. What do you think of the Rockies' top draft pick, Ethan from Sheridan?
Known him a long time.
Yeah, you have. I'm excited.
I've watched him a long time, I should say. I didn't really have a one-on-one relationship with him, but I watched what he did, progressed through high school out of Chandler, Oklahoma. Went to junior college out of high school in 1994. Not much of a breaking ball. Then Jonathan went to Seminole and then on to the University of Oklahoma, and his slider improved immensely the last 2 years to go along with an electric fastball. Excited he's in a Rockies uniform.
2-1.
Took another young man out of there, Billy Walter, a little left-hander, came out of the University of Oklahoma. Fort Gibson guy that started to pop 1993. Pretty good breaking ball to go along with it. More of a bullpen, not a specialist, but a bullpen guy from the left side.
Double play ball. Tulowitzki will take it himself. 6-3, providing 2 outs.
With the arm and range of Tulowitzki, you see a ball hit like this, just back away and watch and admire. You can see LeMahieu went across the bag, but he got out of the way in a hurry. Tulowitzki started to flip, let him know I got it. Just one step with the left foot, and then the throw to first.
Does the heat change a pitcher's approach, or do you just play him like it's a normal game?
Well, when you're at Coors Field, all you think about is bottom half of the strike zone anyway. And when it gets hot here and you get wind blowing, the ball seems to travel a little bit further. But no, as far as changing things, no, you're still trying to stay in the bottom half of the zone, get some ground ball outs.
Two-strike count on Worth. Wolfman in Montrose wants to know what's the word on Michael Kadire. He took batting practice outside today, chatted with him. Still got pain in the ribs, but hopes to be in the starting lineup tomorrow. Would be available later on tonight. Had an MRI and just a bruised rib situation. It came on that 27th out play where he got bumped inadvertently by big Kyle Blanks racing up the line, and when he tumbled, his elbow went into his ribs. This is line to right field and deep. Colvin will have to play it off the wall. He may have a chance to get Worth in second. Here's the throw. Not going to get it. Two-out double for Worth in front of Adam LaRoche.
Well, when he hit this, Colvin took one step in. I think he was fooled a little bit about strength and flight of the baseball. Coming out of the hand of Chassin, the ball ran back over. Worth it, good inside, outside, and a strong guy at home plate. That first step was in, and then by then you're not going to get it. Not sure he would have caught it anyway. Don't think he would have.
George, can you explain the difference between a cutter and a slider?
Well, I can, but I'm not going to. No, I'm just kidding. The cutter's thrown more like a fastball, and it has more of a move straight across. And you can throw it with more velocity than you can with the slider. And the slider has what we call, you hear Drew and I say, you know, that slider had depth. Meaning that when it approached the plate, it's dropping to the left if you're right-handed, to the right if you're the other side of it. So as a result of that, you move around and you try different things with it. And I think that's, you know, you can cut the fastball and take it inside outside easier than you can a slider. And I'll see if you can see this, but most cutters, the one I teach is basically put your index finger right in the middle of the baseball and then just lay your middle finger on the outside of it here. And the reason why is you can see the ball's off center. So all you got to think about is fastball and turn here with it. And when you're throwing a slider, a lot of guys will throw off the seam. And you know what we'll do right now? Come back and they'll grab the ball on the seam here and throw the slider. And then other ways that I like to do it, I like to take the ball and make 1/4 turn. Steve Carlton taught me this too, is just cock your wrist in and throw the baseball and make it get out front. But your action on your hands this way, more on the slider, and on the fastball, all you're concentrate is throw a fastball and just get out front. And when it comes at you, it's jumping, and on sliders, biting down. We're able to break. Rockies trailing 2-0.
Bottom 5 at Coors Field, still 2-0 Nationals. AT&T trivia time. Davey Johnson, Nationals manager, the NL Manager of the Year. He was named that back in November. He also won it in the American League with the Orioles in 1997. He joins 5 other managers to win it in the AL and the NL. Can you name the other 5? Answer coming up. Drew George.
Manager of the Year in both leagues. The Mets manager in '86 when they won it all.
Yeah, there's another manager.
Ball and a strike on Willeen Rosario. Willeen just 2 for his last 23 at the plate.
Wind will carry that deep into the seats. Terry Heron's doing a really good job of moving it.
And a walk to Rosario. That's unusual. That's just the 10th walk that Dan Herron has allowed all year. See if the Rockies can take advantage. Colvin coming up. He struck out looking his first time.
Five ground ball outs, just a couple of fly ball outs, and 5 strikeouts for Dan Herron.
The Giants, George, put Pablo Sandoval on the disabled list with a strained left foot. He's scheduled to come off the 26th if all goes well, which would be right before the Rockies series at home against San Francisco.
Well, in the All-Star game, National League voting, Sandoval the leader at third base right now.
And it's 2-0 on Colvin. Manuel Corpus is he's getting ready to throw, which what's a higher pitch count after 5 innings for Chassin.
Close to 90, I think.
It's 95, and that's why you see Corpus going. And Chassin is due up 4th this inning, now 3rd, and there's Jordan Pacheco. High fly ball down the right field line. Did he get it? Home run! Tyler Colvin has tied it up. First home run of the year for Colvin. What a time for it. Rockies weren't getting anything done against Dan Herron, and he's now given up his league-leading 16th big fly.
Now you mentioned first home run for Tyler Colvin, 4 RBIs now too. Golf the low pitch and then let the wind do the rest of the work. Take it anywhere you can.
Colvin's 2nd career home run against Herron in 5 at-bats.
Let's look at the swing and see where this pitch is. See that ball's starting to dive down and away. The front hip had already gone. And realistically, you know, a lot of that power when he dropped the hammer down, he just got that ball elevated and left.
Last home run in the big leagues for Colvin was September 11th of last year. He hit 18 home runs last year.
Drove in what, 72?
72, yep. Mayhew fouls it off. It's 1-2. Chassin went out in the on-deck circle a moment ago, and now he's come back, and Pacheco's back out there. I was thinking Walt must have felt like, all right, well, if LeMahieu gets on, you'd sacrifice him and save a bench player to later on, but now he's called him back, and it makes sense.
Sure it does.
Right now, because it's 1 out, nobody on. So Pacheco will pinch hit for Chassin.
And you know what? The other, what you're talking about, having him out to bunt too, makes sense with nobody out. Shift everything back. Jolice will go.
Yeah, but he had pulled it back before the at-bat was over, so.
He already made up his mind, I guess. Maybe something wasn't going to go in the right direction for him, for LeMahieu. Got a guy up now, Pacheco, hopefully extend the inning a little bit. Pacheco 4 for 16 with 3 RBIs as a pinch hitter.
he and Todd have been their most effective pinch hitters. Milton has 2 pinch hit home runs. Torrey Alba actually has been good in that role too. He's 3 for 4.
Well, with 3 catchers, it gives you an opportunity. Even though Pacheco hasn't been back there, except for spring training, he works diligently down in the bullpen on days he's not playing on a position. He'll go catch bullpens with the full gear, block balls with Jerry Weinstein to stay sharp. When they come out and work on their throws to the bases, Pacheco's one of the first out to do it.
And look at Jordan, another base hit. So the Rockies in the 5th inning with 1 out have Pacheco aboard, the top of the order coming. And Dexter Fowler, who has twice rolled the ground ball to LaRoche at first.
Hitting the road, subscribe to MLB.tv to see every Rockies out of market game online and on your favorite devices in HD quality when you're not at home.
And that's launched down the line. Off the glove of LaRoche. Pacheco easily to third. Dexter to second. And the Rockies starting to get to Dan Harringer finally here in the 5th inning.
A leadoff walk should not bother Dan Harringer, but we've only walked 9 in 62 innings coming into the ball game. Comment made to Suzuki on where this pitch was. Dexter hit. It was an elevated pitch. When it came in, you can see on the Mike Shaw Subaru Supermo, about thigh high. The type of pitch that should get hit, and then it ricocheted off of the glove of LaRoche. If he catches it, obvious double play. He didn't.
Steve McCaddy's going to come out.
One of those conversations that you go out to the veteran, just slow it back down a little bit and say, hey, you're in the middle of this lineup, make some pitches. This kid's a free swinger. Make your pitch here and get you ground ball in the infield. Interesting to see if they go all the way back or half. They're going to go back up the middle, feeling their offense will score runs in the ball game.
Arenado takes a strike. Rockies can take the lead here. They've tied it on a Colvin 2-run home run. They came into the inning with just 2 hits. Oh, 2. Boy, Dexter staying hot with that walk. Fowler 10 for his last 19 at the plate, all in this homestand. 4-hit Sunday tied a career high. And Arenado gets it in play. Desmond will hold Pacheco. And now Cargo will come up, trying to exact a little bit of revenge against Herron. Now, you have first base open. This is where the Rockies lineup is so difficult to deal with. A lot of teams would say, well, you're going to pass on Cargo with first base open, and then you go right on right, but you're going right on right with Troy Tulowitzki.
Best power hitter, shortstop from the right side in the National League. A contact guy that doesn't strike out much. He's got the RBI totals to 51. You know, this is kind of, you point the finger to the starting pitcher, Dan Herron. You say to him, who do you want to face? Now, if you get to 3-0, you might take the decision out of his hands.
Cargo has struck out swinging twice against Herron. But coming in, he was a .389 hitter with 3 home runs against Herron. And that's down the line and just foul. Wow, not by much.
Well, you're right, Drew. Hugging the line all the way down. It could have gone either way, but it goes to the foul side of the bag.
And again, the rule is, folks, all it has to do is go over any portion of the bag. Even if the next bounce is in foul territory, if it went over the bag, according to the judgment of the first base umpire, it's fair ball. That's a fair ball, deep left field, and gone! 3-run Jack Carlos Gonzalez. I'd say that's some revenge. And the Rockies lead it 5-2. You can't keep a good man down for very long. His 18th Jack of the year.
And hit that half milestone of 50 RBIs to go with it. Let's go back to pitch by pitch on this young man. He got a split finger down, ball one. Came back with the split again. He fouled it right down the first base line. They want this ball way away. And it catches too much of the plate. And Carlos Gonzalez on an 88-mile-an-hour fastball left the yard.
And you know, George, looking at that pitch again, it's not a bad pitch.
It's not a bad pitch at all. You just got a very talented hitter that covers an awful lot of plate.
1-0 on Tulowitzki. I mean, look where this pitch is.
Well, you can see it on the Mike Shaw Subaru Supermo. They're leaning back slightly. Maybe a little bit too much of the plate than what they want, but it's still down and on the corner. Talented hitter.
That's his 4th home run, George, in 21 at-bats against Herring.
And if the bullpen takes care of things, Jhoulys Chacin will walk away with a win. And not one of his better performances with 90-plus pitches.
$18 home runs, 51 ribbies now for Cargo. 51 on ribbies matches Troy Tulowitzki. Vinny knows something about big flies. And that's a rocket to center field. Dan Herring was basically untouchable for Age for 4 innings. And now it's a rocket here, a rocket there. He can't get the Rockies out.
It's not like it's blue pits. They are very hard hit balls, enough that McCaddy's going to get on the phone.
Sometimes it's the second time through. In tonight's case, it was the 3rd time through. The Rockies figuring out Dan Herring. Helton with a quality hat. 2-0 Nationals about 10 minutes ago when the inning began. 5-2 Colorado now. And Helton, the 9th man to hit here in the 5th inning.
Like a lot of teams that come into Colorado and play the Rockies 20-14 now. San Francisco with a 1-game better home record. That they know this offense can explode at any time. And Drew, we talked about it in the second segment of this offense. In the outfield,
Todd hits this ball pretty well. Dive line drive in front of Worth for a single. It's 3 straight hits. 6 hits in the inning and a walk. Cargo with 18 home runs. He's now just 1 shy of the National League lead held by Dominic Brown of the Phillies. We'll see Dominic this weekend. But Johnny right now is telling Cargo, George, he's saying, listen, when we were little growing up, I was the one hitting all the big flies.
one of 3 left-handers that they have down in their bullpen is starting to get loose now. Kroll, the lefty. has started to go as Corpus continues to get loose in the Rockies bullpen.
Outside on Rosario, 2-0. Kurt Suzuki going out now to visit with him.
Oh, Chastain, that baby, pick me up. For a guy that hasn't won a game since April 19th, it's a good feeling to know you could get a W here today. Talking about Jolie Chastain.
Here's Ian Kroll. Willeen in the driver's seat right now, a 2-0 count. And it's 3-0, and Herring is pitching away from contact all of a sudden.
Doesn't want anything to do with it. And guys aren't chasing.
See on the Ford strike zone, everything way off the plate. And Rosario cuts loose, 3-0. Colvin is on deck. Yeah, a little subtle way of giving confidence to Willeen, who's been struggling with the bat, by Walt Weiss, letting him swing 3-0.
And why not? That opportunity. You're this part of the lineup. Why not turn him loose and let him go?
In the air, shallow center field, and Desmond will get out and make the catch. The Rockies have a robust fifth inning. 2-run home run by Tyler Colvin got the Rockies even. And then a few doors down, Carlos Gonzalez would come up with 2 outs and 2 on. And he went deep to left, 5-2 Colorado.
The Nationals. AT&T Trivia will answer the question I had mentioned, that Davey Johnson, the Nationals manager. He was the American League Manager of the Year in 1997. He won it last year in the NL with the Nationals. Here are the 5 others that have won it in both leagues. You got to think the all-timers. You got Bobby Cox on there. You got Tony La Russa, Jim Leland, Lou Piniella, who did it with Seattle and the Cubs, and then there's Bob Melvin, who did it with Arizona and also last year in the American League with the A's. So last year, Davey Johnson, Bob Melvin get on that list by winning it in both leagues. Back to Drew and George we go, guys.
Pretty good group to be amongst. Mark, thank you. So we go to the 6th inning now with the Rockies ahead 5-2. And Manuel Corpus will pitch to Ian Desmond, Anthony Rendon, and Kurt Suzuki.
Well, the other day he pitched very well. 2 innings, 3 strikeouts. What he was able to accomplish in that outing he had the other day. 4 1/3 on 1 record, 2.08 earned run average.
So a Dodge pitching change, and that's a strike at the knees to Desmond. Desmond a walk and a fly ball to center field. So Chacín, as George pointed out, is on the plus side. Gave up 2 runs in 5 innings with 95 pitches. That's a strike. Seven hits, 2 walks, 2 strikeouts. Here's the 0-2 from Manny, and it's outside. Looks like a little better velocity, George, last couple outings for Corpus. Kind of been sitting on 91.
Last year's velocity 84 to 88 miles an hour. So yes, much better this year than it was a year ago.
Good spot on the changeup, but Desmond stayed off it. It's 2-2. Manny was saving games for the Rockies on the road to the World Series in 07. Everything was in the bottom half of the zone and hard sink. Here's the 2-2.
Not a bad idea. First time to elevate the fastball after being so low in the zone.
Rockies playing outside the NL West for the next couple of weeks. They're 21-16 though inside the division. It's a great sign. Last year they won only 28 games inside the division, and they also, among all teams in the West, have the best run differential. They're plus 36 inside the division. Just another indication of how well they're playing. Slider missed 3-2.
And why the Dodgers are playing so poorly. The Rockies playing well in the West. The Dodgers 8-20. So the importance of winning in that division, and it's probably a good time to get a break and to see some new faces with the Nationals in town and then Philly.
Nice job by Corpus. He strikes out a dangerous man. In fact, the hottest hitter in the Nationals lineup in Ian Desmond. Anthony Rendon coming up, and we want to thank you for texting in your questions last inning during Toyota Talk. For more answers, check with the Cowboy at the facebook.com/RootSportsRM page. Anthony Rendon, remember the 2011 draft class. 6th pick overall out of Rice University. One of his draft classmates, if you will, Garrett Cole, made his big league debut, George, for the Pirates tonight.
Pretty good too.
Really good. 6 1/3, 2 runs, 7 hits, didn't walk anybody, struck out a couple. And he can run it up there in the high 90s.
See, that's what's interesting to me too. Velocity is such a big thing now. He was clocked at 99 miles an hour in the first inning. You have to have other pitches to go with 99. Bob Gibson struck out a lot of people because he had a nasty slider. Steve Carlton had a great slider. Bert Blyleven a curveball. Nolan Ryan curveball slider. You're mentioning 99 miles an hour. You would think at home, if you were listening, I bet he struck out 10 or 15 the way if he's throwing 99 miles an hour. There's a difference of a high at 99 and he pitches maybe at 94. But if he doesn't have the accomplished pitches behind it, you don't see a lot of strikeouts mount up.
(3-1). And Willeen immediately turned around and checked on Bob Davidson. See if this
Umpires
catches
get
Bob.
nicked. Yeah, they get nicked every night. Caught him right on the corner of that mask and moved it around a little bit. Didn't make it any more comfortable to take them.
Three-two on Anthony Rendon, and this is a high fly ball to center field, pretty well hit. And Dexter's going to make the catch and then kind of lay his back against that wall. Fortunately, it's padded. Pretty jarring hit. 2 outs. Ball really traveling in that direction, George.
Yeah, well, Rendon trying to get his first big league home run. If he would have, it's wind aided. You can just see how much the ball is moving and carrying on into that right center field area. I mean, move Dexter again about 25 feet. Great concentration and catch by Dex.
Kurt Suzuki an 0-1 count. Suzuki 9 for 24 lifetime against the Rockies. Colorado would play Oakland in interleague play. Rosario sets up over the outside corner, and that was just a perfect pitch. He was off the plate, but Manuel put it right where Rosario wanted it. It's pretty hard to lay off that. Go out there again. This ball's hit pretty well. Colvin will get back and make the catch. Nice running catch in the right field corner. And the Rockies have their first 1-2-3 inning. It's provided by Manuel Corpus. They're up 5-2. By Dexter Fowler against Anthony Rendon a few moments ago. We asked Dexter earlier today, in fact, about running into the outfield wall.
I have run into a few walls in my day. Broke my hand doing it. I got 2 screws in my hand doing it. So I think the best way to do it is, you know, just go in and time your jump and just go up like you're gonna dunk a ball or get an alley-oop. It's always good when a guy bat flips and think he has it and then you take it back.
George, I've often said the same thing to you about the art of, you know, running into the wall. That for me, it always reminded me of when somebody would lob to me and I dunked the basketball.
Really?
You know, recall me saying the same
Were
thing.
you like on the 8-foot rim or the big rim?
Doesn't matter what size.
But you
the
do
rim
work
is.
on that thing. And the thing, you know what, it's seriously, how many times in the backyard, think about this. I mean, this was Sunday with Gonzalez. All right, now listen, when you're doing this, all right, goes up, catches the baseball, same thing here. You know, these are all good catches and timed catches. And a lot of times outfielders will tell you when they know they're about to hit the wall, unless it's a running catch, it's very difficult to do. But if you are running and then you're going to jump, you'll try to put some more solid part of your body against that, whether it be a hip. You know, the last thing you want to do is run your head or shoulder into that wall. But remember as a kid in the backyard, when you'd stand there and your dad would throw the ball to you and you'd jump and try to catch it. You know, they'd lob it over your head. I mean, that's an outfield drill now, but lob it over your head. Eric Davis is going to come on to pitch now. You see his overall numbers at 0-0. They haven't pitched much at this big league level, and an earned run average above 8. So he's here trying to make his mark.
Well, he made his
in a ball game.
He made his big league debut 9 days ago. Teammate of Drew Storen at Stanford, in fact.
What he's trying to do is get, you know, he's trying to get a kid a little bit of confidence of what's going on.
1-2 the count on Tyler Colvin, who hit a 2-run home run last inning to erase a 2-0 Rockies deficit. Chacin on the plus side. Dan Herron now has the hook. 5 innings. He allowed 5 runs, 8 hits, a walk, 6 strikeouts. He was cruising to the 5th, and then he allowed 2 home runs. That's been the bugaboo for Herron all year.
Left-hander Josh Altman has started to throw down in the Rockies bullpen. They'll go to their bench with the pitcher up next inning.
Good job by Colvin. It's 3-2.
Did you have a chimney on your house growing up?
Yeah.
Did you ever go out? I used to do this because ours was a rock chimney, and you know it had the part of the cement that would stick out of it where they mortared it all together. And I'd throw a baseball off of that thing for hours, and it hit ricochet to the right. You'd dive and catch it, hit over here, and you dive. Well, I lived out in the country, 25 acres. There wasn't a neighbor sitting around to play catch with. And I had more fun doing stuff like that, throwing it off the wall.
Yeah, I would do the same thing in the yard off a portion of the house. This ball is down the right field line. DJ LeMahieu in the corner, and that is a foul ball. And you know what? Jason Worth didn't even know it was foul. He was throwing it back in like it was a fair ball.
I'm not sure he saw it off the bat, do you?
Jim Reynolds and Renee Latchman discussing where that ball landed. Now, there's the mark, and if that's the mark, George,
that's a fair ball.
It's got a piece of the line.
Right there, yeah, look right there on the white. See where it's got the line? Fair ball. You know, that's kind of the advantage. If you the old time chalk, you'd see some white fly.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of the chalk still.
Part of that is because, you know, it gets in people's eyes, and I think that's one of the reasons they've taken it out in all the ballparks and use spray paint now.
Pulled hard and on through, a base hit for DJ LeMahieu.
Corpus will hit.
Eric Young Jr. was in the on-deck circle, but with the hit, it's a sacrifice situation. So Walt Weiss doesn't want to burn a position player, and he'll allow Corpus to bunt. Runner going, throw to second, and DJ LeMahieu is 6 for 6 swiping bases.
Part of the game, you know, to help solidify your spot at the big league level is doing just something like this, and that is stealing bases, getting proper jumps. Look at the lead he's got on Davis. Took off, one look back. Not sure what was going on with Corpus there, but now into scoring position. Thought about going again.
It's a wild pitch. get real crazy now. You pinch it for
I'm
Corpus
just
in
thinking
the middle
the
of
same
the
thing.
at-bat.
I was just thinking the same thing. If he's coming out of the game, you've got a 2-1 or an even count at 1-1.
Yeah, I mean, you're not putting a hitter in that huge a hole. I mean, it's a disadvantage, but now it's an RBI situation. The infield's in, and you know, it's not a starting pitcher. You go, okay, Shassini handles the bat pretty well. Man, he never swings the bat.
Exactly. Watch him hit one off the wall. I don't think so.
Not with that swing.
That was like 3 feet away from the bat, maybe 4.
Well, your favorite line, George, over the years is he couldn't have hit that with a boat oar.
No, it wouldn't hit water in the ocean with it. With a boat oar. Yeah. But decision for Walt to make it. He made this one, so you're going to live with it, and hopefully he does something. Probably another slider coming right now. It is, and it'll make you grab some pine.
Two outs. Dexter Fowler a double his last time up. Average at .304 with 10 home runs and 26 driven in. Last year he hit .533 against the Nationals. And the amazing thing, the reason I'm throwing all these numbers out at you, offensive numbers, the Nationals had one of the best pitching staffs in baseball last year. They had the best rotation ERA in the league last year at .340. This year it's at .340 also.
But they're not catching the baseball or swinging the bat.
Not the same. I'll give you an example. Strasburg, who's on the DLs 3 and 5, he's got a small ERA. 1-1. Jordan Zimmerman's been their MVP. He's 9-3. He's been terrific. Gio Gonzalez has a good ERA. Those 3 guys, they're hit below .215 against each one of those guys. 2-1.
Mentioned at the start too that Heron only getting 8 runs of support, now 10 in his last 6 starts. It's not a lot of runs scored.
DJ LeMahieu at third base with 2 outs. 2-1. And that is a line drive caught by Worth. That's a terrific play by Worth. It saved a run. So Worth robs Dexter Fowler. 5-2 Colorado. Brought to you by Dodge. Visit Dodge.com or your local dealer today. By the Courtyard by Marriott, Western elegance in the cultural heart of the city. By Connect for Health Colorado, when health insurance plans compete, there's only one winner, you. And by Jeep. Visit Jeep.com to learn more. crescent moon over Coors Field tonight. The Rockies trying to win the first of 3 against the Nationals, the first of 7 ball games between these two clubs over the next 2 weeks. With George Frazier and Mark Stout, I'm Drew Goodman. New pitcher for the Rockies here in the top of the 7th. Josh Outman, who was just sent out a couple of days ago, returning to the big leagues with the injury to Edgmer Escalona.
I laughed at Josh today when I saw him. I just saw you down running at Colorado Springs yesterday afternoon. There's the roster move. Escalona on the DL with his elbow injury. And Josh Outman recalled from Colorado Springs today.
It's Jeff Cabernet pinch hitting.
Looks like Wilton Lopez, the right-hander, has started to throw down in the Rockies bullpen also. Will go along with the Bod, the left-hander in the Washington bullpen. And this again, 3-run leads at Coors Field. Obviously, you feel like you have a chance to get back.
Two and two on Cabernet. He originally came up with the Nationals, then he was a Rule 5 selection by Boston last year, and then he was traded to Detroit. He can really run. That's been his calling card in the minor leagues. 53 stolen bases 1 year, 42 another.
Celebrate Father's Day. That's right. It's this Sunday, June 16th. Get to the ballpark early. Wouldn't mind having a couple of hats for my birthday. They're good. He just throwing it out. You know, in case anybody wants to send a hat, I'd like to have for my, not my birthday, but my Father's Day thing. Anyway, we'll get on with that. You got to get to ballpark early, though, because guess what? It's bobblehead day. Whose bobblehead is it?
It's the Skipper's.
Walt Weiss, that's right. He said he had another one with Oakland, but had hair with that one. The bobblehead courtesy of Remax, so get your tickets today. First 20,000 on Father's Day. Walt Weiss, bobblehead at the yard.
3 and 2 on Cabernet.
You know, I always say this too, though. Father's Day, they celebrate it one day a year, but it's 365 days a year. It's Father's Day. And when they get old, and they have all their own kids, they still call you for advice all the time. Still Father's Day. Father's Day is every day. Never stop being a day.
I wasn't following you for a moment, but now I'm.
Every day's Father's Day.
You'd say like Ralph Kiner once said.
Every day's Mother's Day.
Ground ball to third, and Arenado did his homework. He knows he's got to get rid of it with Cabernet, and he throws him out. Well, you remember what Ralph Kiner said one Father's Day? He said, he said to all those fathers out there on this Father's Day, happy birthday.
That's my guy. Him and Phil Rizzuto had a few things they could throw out at you, get you going a little bit. Phil was the greatest. Oh, I saw Louis the other day. I went by Mom's house, had pizza. Oh, there's a home run, 1-0 Yankees. Then we had salad, we had fruit, another base hit. Afterwards, we went out on the porch, had coffee. I think that
my all-time favorite.
At the end of the game, they're winning 2-0.
Yeah, well, he didn't see the end of the game.
No.
He'd be on the Parkway heading home by 9 o'clock.
He was the best. He got Bobby Mercer on that one. 83, Mercer's first game when he called Donnie Mattingly up to stay. And Mercer's working alongside of him, and the late great Bobby Mercer had passed away a couple of years ago with brain cancer. Bobby said in the 7th inning, Phil said, hey, I got to go. Got to go to the bathroom. I'll be right back. Mercer finished his first major league broadcast by himself for the next 3 innings. Oh, boy, what happened here?
Outman did something there, George.
Oh, boy. Got another one. Let's go back and look at this a little bit right here. 2 pitches ago, not this one. Knee or back? Which one?
And it looked more back.
Moline trying to do a little yard work here on the mound. Spikes can lock at times like that. When they do it catches you and you just feel a little twist in your lower back. See Moline trying to dig up some of that dirt in there. Make a little smoother landing for him.
Here's where it's so hard as a trainer and a manager, because as an athlete, George, you were in that situation. The last thing you want to do is go out. So you lie to yourself. You go out, you know, it wasn't really a strain. I think I can fight through it.
Lie to everybody. You tell both of them I'm good to go. But they're watching too. They're seeing if you push off. Doogie is a great student of the game. You got to remember he was starting shortstop. And it's Keith right here. I mean, Keith knows what's going on. And he can watch the actions of a pitcher and go, all right, that ain't normal. You're not throwing the ball normal. No visit indicated by Bob Davidson because of the entry check on the mound of Josh Outman.
It's 2-0 on Denard Span. Two and one. We're looking out at the rock pile, the outfield seats.
Nice, isn't it?
A lot of folks in the upper deck tonight.
Tuesday night, it's summer, it's baseball.
Yeah, Nationals in town. Got a lot of big names. Unfortunately, Harper's hurt and Strasburg's hurt.
The 2 names you're mentioning there are people that are well advertised through a lot of advertising on major, representation of different things in the country. They're on a lot of the sports advertisements. So these tickets may have been bought in the wintertime to see 2 of the youngest stars with Strasburg and Harper.
Well, they're getting to see a Rockies team that's making a lot of noise right now.
A lot of young stars here, a lot of young guys. I mean, Tulowitzki's still a young guy, but he's been around a long time. Carlos Gonzalez, same thing. Dexter Fowler. Guys on this team that's
Arenado now.
Yeah, Nola's coming around. I mean, the guys that you like to see. You got the veteran and Todd Helton. People still pay a lot of money to watch every day.
3-2 on Span. Well received by Rosario, just a little bit off the plate evidently, and it's a 1-out walk to Span.
And I thought this ball caught enough of the plate right here on the outside corner. Was it low?
That was a strike. Roger Bernardina has been called back. And Steve Lombardozzi is going to pinch hit. Lombardozzi, a switch hitter.
So as a manager, what do? You look back now and you look at the statistical side of things and say, all right, what does he do against right-handers? What does he do against left-handers? Does he have better success? 214 against right-handers, 226 against left. Not a whole lot either way. Not a home run threat. No home runs on the season for Lombardozzi. That name sounds familiar. Starting second baseman for the Twins on the '87 World Series team.
His dad.
His dad was.
I tried to make him a teammate of yours in '87.
No, but his dad was.
Dad's a high school coach in Maryland now. Did you know that?
I knew he went into financial advising. I hadn't seen him in quite a while. It wasn't at the last celebration. 2007 celebration, 20-year anniversary. They have one every 10.
Ground ball toward the hole. Tulo on the backhand gets one on the first. Not in time. Troy Tulowitzki, what a beautiful play to get the lead runner. Great feed to DJ LeMahieu. Not only does he get there, but the jump turn in the air and a perfect feed.
So much time spent practice-wise to be able to accomplish just what Tulo does.
Got a great backhand, George.
Well, everything about him, 6'4", agile, moves very well. Walt Weiss will go down to the bullpen now.
Tap out and then on the back with the dangerous Ryan Zimmerman coming up, who's going to get a right-handed pitcher for Zimmerman. Rockies leading 5-2, 2 outs in the 7th inning. Rockies continue this 2013 campaign. Get online. Tell us your favorite Rockies moment from the month of May. Wilton Lopez trying to nail down the final out of the 7th inning. He'll face Ryan Zimmerman.
Right on right is the reason. And you got a 3-run lead with a man on. You're going to shut down anything you can. So you're going to go with that hard sinker and try to get the ball on the ground. And Tulowitzki.
Diving catch by Tulowitzki. That's not a bad two-way player.
Yeah, I'd like to have him on my team every day.
Not a lot of holes on that left side. 5-2 Rockies. Stretch time at Coors Field.
Far so good. Rockies up 5-2 as we go bottom 7. The players got to enjoy a rare off day yesterday, and some of the players and staff and a lot of Root Sports folks, they went to the Pinery down in Parker because it was the annual Rockies charity golf tournament. There's the Pinery. There's Huey. Huey hits him well all the time. That was the best part of my day, starting on the golf cart. Todd Helton played. Jordan Pacheco got his swings in. Willeen Rosario was there, the baby bull with the big tee. And, of course, Dexter Fowler, who had the long drive. We see him chipping, we see him putting and doing it all. Do you know the Rockies and their charities have given back $23+ million over the years? That golf tournament is a big part of them giving back to the community. Tomorrow here, Strikeout Hunger Food Drive with the wives and the girlfriends. They'll be at the gates around the park beginning at 4. Bring your canned goods, non-perishables, and your monetary donations tomorrow. Guys?
That was a lot of fun yesterday. It always is a great event. And as you said, Mark, raises a ton of money for the Rockies Charity Fund. Steve Lombardozzi, who pinch hit for Roger Bernardina, stays in the game right where Bernardino was playing, left field. And Fernando Abad is now on the hill. It's Nolan Arenado, Carlos Gonzalez, Troy Tulowitzki in the Rockies half of the 7th. They're leading 5-2.
Left-hander, you see the numbers, just 7+ innings. Has been hurt start of the year, now coming back. Abad was in Houston, made his major league debut there, signed in 03, didn't make it to the big leagues for 7 years.
He's from where? Didn't you play in La Romana, George? Yeah, he's from La Romana.
Well, I know La Romana is a really nice resort area. I actually played in Santiago for Aguilar. La Romana is the area where the Rockies, you know, when I played, there was only 4 teams there. Now there's like 8. They had a lot of teams playing. La Romana has a team now. Very successful. Last year, he threw in 37 games for Houston. Had a high earned run average, was sent down for 13 games to AAA. Minor league free agent, January the 15th, so some time spent in the minor leagues this year, getting a chance back at the big league level with his success at Syracuse.
Two and 2. Nolan fouls his pitch off. Arenado, a 6-game hitting streak by virtue of a double back in the first inning.
First 8,000 fans on June 13th are going to receive a Great Clips coupon. Stylos will be on site providing haircuts, collecting donations for Colorado Rockies charities presented by Great Clips. Think we ought to have Dougie go through the line. What do you think? Think Dougie ought to go to the Great Clips haircut deal? They're going to have Stylos here, have it clipped on up, cleaned up a little bit.
No, Doug's got the look.
Doug, I think you should get a Walt White's haircut for Bobble Day.
I wouldn't know who he was if he got a haircut.
Could you imagine how young he would look? How about if he knocked on the door with Lindsay with your hair all cut off? She'd call the cops on you. What are you doing here? Who are you? Yeah, the dogs would probably bite you.
They do anyhow.
When was your last haircut? Seriously. Short.
3 and 2 on Arenado. George, you let us know.
He's not talking about it.
Base hit up the middle. There's a bullet up the middle and a leadoff single for Nolan Arenado. Well, here comes one of the heroes of tonight's contest. It was 2-2 with 2 outs and 2 on in the 5th inning. And Carlos Gonzalez was facing Dan Herron, who had struck him out twice in the game already. Not the 3rd time. Cargo had hit one of his patented line shots that just kept going and going over the left field wall for his 18th home run of the year, a 3-run shot. Here's the in-game box score brought to you by Subway. Tulo with a couple of hits, Arenado now a couple of knocks. Colvin a 2-run home run to tie the game earlier in that 5th inning we're describing. was the home run. There's a prettier left-handed swing in baseball. I want to see it.
Fun for me to watch. I mean, you know, you think about how you always look back at guys and you say, who does he remind you of? You know, what former player does his swing remind you of? At times it's a Mickey Mantle from the left side. You know, you watch that swing. Sometimes it's a Darryl Strawberry with the opposite field power. I mean, there's some guys that, you know, his swing and bat speed, stance. I mean, there's a lot of things he looks at. Bob Davidson's going to get him on a check swing here, called without asking for any help. And we're going to let you know at home whether you thought he went around or not. I'm sorry, this is the home run. I'll give you a shot of this right now. That big old long, strong swing. Look at that back leg and off that front stiff side. And whoa, there's some bat speed coming through there. Now here's the check swing. Remember, we're looking at this angle if you're checking at third, but you didn't check at third. Bob Davidson was like, yeah, well, I'm sorry, bud, you're gone. Yeah, he did. Don't say nothing.
Tulowitzki with the 1 out. Pop foul and out of play. And then strike 2. And he strikes out Tulowitzki. 2 outs, and that'll bring up Helt. Todd a base hit his last time up. Check swing. And that's 1-1. With that base hit, Todd's now hit 10 of 11. 352 average since May the 30th. That's off the plate. Also 3 home runs, 10 driven in. 2 outs in the Rockies' half of the 7th. Nolan Arenado, a leadoff single, still at first base. Fernando Abad's 2-1. It's 2-2. Pretty good arm, George. 94.
Yeah, 94 on that one, huh? Good plate, good position.
You throw 94 from the left side, you're gonna keep a job in baseball for a long time.
And you put it down there.
Worked with Mitch Williams over the weekend, George. Mitch threw hard from the left side. He fell off the mound like this kid does also.
Well, Mitch didn't have the control this guy has until later on in his career. That's why they call the wild thing.
Look how hard he falls off the mound toward third base. Good curveball. That was nasty. So Abad gives up a leadoff single and then strikes out Gonzalez, Tulowitzki, and Helt in succession. Rockies lead though 5-2. Here are the game highlights so far, brought to you by McDonald's. Enjoy a refreshing, satisfying, icy cold soft drink or sweet tea any size for just $1. I'm loving it. Colvin, a two-run home run in the 5th against Dan Herron. The Rockies had got nothing done up to that point. That tied the game at 2 later on in the inning. Carlos Gonzalez, an opposite field 3-run home run, his 18th of the year. Within one of the National League lead in that category, 5-2 Colorado after that big swing. And that's where we stand right now. We go to the 8th inning. Wilton Lopez will continue on. And it's the 4th spot in the lineup. The cleanup hitter Jason Worth to lead off. Adam LaRoche and Desmond after. And that pitch is high, ball 1. Wilton Lopez got the final out of the 7th inning. That's a good pitch. A changeup at the bottom of the zone. 1-1. Two and two. And it's 3-2. Wilton Lopez, an ERA of 6.17 in April, just 2.55 in May, and so far in June, he's not given up an earned run. And he misses, ball 4. I don't think Worth realized that was a 3-2 pitch. As amazing as that may seem. A leadoff walk, and now Adam LaRoche, who's 3 for 4 in his career against Lopez.
And
now Belisle is getting up now.
Normally your 8th inning guy too. Wilton got out with a hard line drive right at Tulowitzki. So now Belisle up and asked to get loose in a hurry. He's doing just that.
Ground ball to Helton. Fair ball. He's just going to take the out. That's a smart play by Todd. Up by 3 runs. That would have been a big risk. It would have been a very close play at second, and you risk not getting anybody.
Exactly. So I mean, you go ahead and make sure in this part of the ball game you're making sure you get the out. So you got a pretty good break on it here, but watch Worth too, because what Worth's going to do is start to angle this way. So now you block Helton from a throw, and particularly with, if you don't feel comfortable making that throw, make the out. That's the big thing about it. Washington 1 for 5 with runners in scoring position. It's going to get better.
That's going to score the run. Cargo's going to let it fly. And now moving up, smart base running Ian Desmond. It's 5-3, and he's in scoring position. And Cargo, 99% of the time, is going to make the right decision. I think the right decision there would be throw to second.
Keep your double play in order. Don't let it get away from you. But did you think this ball's cut a little early, maybe? I mean, you've got a catcher yelling at you. The ball seemed like it was going to angle off, too. It wasn't going to be on line. So, the cut made there. But now you got a runner stepping at second base, and it's a 5-3 ball game. Belisle trying to get it going in a hurry.
Anthony Rendon at the plate.
Wow, normally starts the 8th inning.
Yeah, when you have a lead of 3 runs or less, you're going to see Matt Belisle typically, and now Rex Brothers in the 9th, not Betancourt, because Betancourt's still on the disabled list.
Where Belisle is so good, his leadoff man retired. And that's huge coming out of the bullpen. You know, if you're starting an inning and you can retire that leadoff man, obviously it puts things a little tougher on that visiting manager. He accomplishes that at 76% of the time. This year he's inherited 8 base runners and only 1 has scored. That is outstanding. Talking about Matt Belisle.
0-2. Lopez throws a 4-seamer, and it's 1-2. Two and two. Who Wants Tacos fans, if you'd like to receive text message alerts when the Rockies score 7 or more for the Rockies Taco Special, text keyword taco to 720-720. And when that does occur, Taco Bell and Root Sports will donate $250 to the Colorado I Have a Dream Foundation.
Hard sinkers and good sliders, but everything must stay down. You got a guy at the plate that drove the ball to right center field. Dexter shading him that way. Trying to pitch to the defense.
Rendon a single back in the 2nd. 2 fly balls to center field. The one that George is mentioning, the great catch by Dexter up against the wall. In extreme right center field.
First 10,000 fans on Friday, June 14th, will receive a We Want Tacos t-shirt courtesy of Taco Bell. Get tickets today for this ball game against the Phillies.
Hard on the ground to third. Arenado holds the runner on the first. 2 outs. And that'll bring up Kurt Suzuki. Suzuki's 0 for 3.
Good idea. Elevate it, take it up away from him a little bit.
Safe Light Auto Glass, the place to call if you have any windshield issues. 303-287-5000, online at safelight.com. And a ground ball to short. Tulo's got it. And Suzuki's out. In the inning, there was a walk and a single to drive in a 3rd run for Washington. It's 5-3 as we go to the bottom of the 8th.
Major Leagues. Nolan Ryan in 1990 throws his 6th no-hitter as the Texas Rangers beat the Oakland A's. Let's take a look at Ryan as he and the Rangers get to celebrate. And there's Walt Weiss. Walt Weiss was the shortstop for the A's in that game. Weiss actually drew a walk. There's Nolan, 14 Ks in the effort. He walked a couple. On the A's hitting, this is the last out of the game, and that's Willie Randolph flying out to right. But in that game, shortstop for the A's, Weiss. Shortstop for the Rangers, our own Jeff Houston. The A's batted 7, 8, 9. Jamie Quirk, Walt Weiss, Mike Gallego, ex-coaches and now the current manager of the Rockies. DH Ron Hasse, also a Rockies coach in that game. And one more, Carney Lansford, pinch hit and struck out against Ryan, of course, the former hitting instructor. So some good Rockies connections going back to 1990, guys.
Yeah, Huey played behind Nolan in his last 2 no-hitters, 6th and 7th. Drew Storen is on for the Nationals here in the 8th inning. Willeen Rosario, Tyler Colvin, DJ LeMahieu with the Rockies ahead 5-3.
Very good breaking ball. Will utilize a slider at times to go with that hard curveball, but very good fastball to go behind it. Didn't spend much time, if any, at the minor league level. He's one of those high draft picks that, you know what, he was showing at the minor leagues that he was prepared and ready to come to the big leagues. One hop line drive, Willie with a base hit.
So a lead single for Rosario, and that'll bring up Colvin. 5th inning in Los Angeles. The Diamondbacks, who are leading the NL West, are up 2-0 on the Dodgers on a Jason Kubel home run. Zach Greinke and Ian Kennedy, 2 pitchers in that affair. The Pirates beat the Giants earlier 8-2. That was Garrett Cole's major league debut, and he beat Tim Lincecum. Lincecum now 4-6. Pedro Alvarez, his 14th home run for Pittsburgh. Here's Colvin, a 2-run home run earlier to tie up the score in the 5th against Herron. Outside, ball 1.
Storen, a first-round draft pick, 2009, was in the big leagues in 2010. A very short time. As a matter of fact, at the minor league level, he's pitched in 47 ball games. And at the big league level, 164 with 52 saves.
This ball is hit in the air to deep left field, and it is going to get out of here. 2-run home run, Colvin, his 2nd jack of the night, and it is now 7-3 Colorado.
One thing this club did early in the year when it started out so good was it tacked on. They would get a lead, tack on, tack on. Well, he came on here. Tyler Colvin, welcome back to Denver.
First start for the Rockies this year, returning from Colorado Springs, and he makes it extra special. His 4th multi-home run game of his career.
Opposite field this time. The first right down the right field line. This right into the teeth of the wind that he drove out over the fence in left field, and it was not a cheater. It was 8 or 9 rows up. Good for Tyler Colvin.
The last time he hit 2 home runs in a game was July the 6th of last year against the Washington Nationals. How do you like that?
Yeah, I like the repeat performance here. Of course, when he hit this one out here, a little bit excited, as you should be, Tyler. 9 home runs in AAA before his recall here to the big leagues.
This is down the line, and extra bases for DJ LeMahieu. And DJ with a double. So the Rockies have greeted Drew Storen with a single, a 2-run shot, and a double. And Eric Young Jr. will pinch hit the pitcher's spot.
Hard slider, just got out in front and pulled it. Nice job. DJ LeMahieu, his 2nd hit of the ball game. LeMahieu's average now at 270. Eric Young Jr. is a pinch hitter this year. We'd like to see improvement. 1 for 17. From the left side, has yet to get a base hit. 0 for 13.
Well, this is a bunt situation. with a runner at second base and nobody out. See if he drags a bunt. Nope, he's going to hit a line drop base hit. That'll work too.
Yeah, first hit. You know what, Drew? I honestly didn't feel bunt situation in my own mind with a 4-run lead.
Well, not a sack bunt, but bunt for a hit.
But yeah, but I think he can either pull the ball to the right side, and good for him. He got his first hit, 1 for 14 as a pinch hitter. His first from the left side. I smiled too. Did a nice job of that fastball. Didn't try to pull it, just took it to the opposite field. Back elbow drop, changed the angle of the bat. Line drive.
4 straight hits against Storen. Dexter a double back in the 5th, robbed of an RBI, at least single. It may have gone to the wall. Jason Worth dove and made a great catch against Dexter to end the 6th inning.
You know, did you see what happened there? What, just, you know, little things that happen. As a pitcher, you're frustrated. You know, here's a closer with 100 some odd saves, kind of on top of the world with some things here. He fired about a 102-mile-an-hour fastball at LaRoche at first to hold the runner on. LaRoche kind of caught the ball, looked at it, looked at him, looked back. I don't know if he'll throw another one like that. You get to take your frustration out an awful lot.
Rob Scahill has joined Rex Brothers in the Rockies bullpen in case he gets real lopsided here. Big jump for EY, and he'll steal second base. Rockies second in the National League in stolen bases. That's the 8th bag for EY. Only the Padres have more stolen bases. Good Tuesday night crowd, 33,736 infield in. And the 1-1 outside, 2-1 on Dexter. Three and one. They're loaded up for Nolan Arenado. Storen has not retired anybody.
Well, and this is where you become very careful as a manager of pitch counts, because he's one of your main guys out of your bullpen and obviously not having a good night. But you don't let this get carried into a 25-30 pitch inning where you lose him for a while.
Two hits tonight for Arenado. 0-1. It's like Xavier Cedeno's throwing for Washington.
Left-hander that was picked up on waivers from the Houston Astros.
Picking up a lot of ex-Astro left-handers, huh?
He started the season with the Astros. Actually was signed as a minor league free agent 2 years ago. Worked his way back up again. Got to the big leagues and then had struggled this year. Pitched the World Baseball Classic from Puerto Rico, if I'm not mistaken. So now here he has been picked up by Washington back in the big leagues, former Rocky.
Arenado, bouncer to short, and that's a pretty good pickup by Ian Desmond. A run scores, 2 outs on the play, so no ribby for Arenado. And the Rockies have an 8-3 lead as LeMahieu scores.
I mean, this is a great play. Bad hop on a hold of it, then a snap toe to first base, but you do get the run across. When you're up 4, that middle infield going to play back. It allowed you to be able to make that play.
Cargo 1 for 4, but it was a big one. A 3-run home run back in the 5th. EY at third. Two-strike count on Cargo. Strike 3. We go to the 9th inning. The Rockies tack on 3 in the 8th, and they have an 8-3 lead. Tyler Colvin, his second home run of the night. A pair of 2-run shots. Sports is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com. By Wells Fargo customers get your 2-for-1 Rockies club level tickets today by going to wellsfargo.com/Rockies. Wells Fargo Bank, member FDIC. And by Ram Trucks, Guts Glory Ram. 9th inning at Coors Field. Rockies leading 8-3 as we go to center field. Get a preview of the Toyota postgame show with Jenny Cavnar. Jenny?
Hey, Drew, we're going to be talking a little T-ballin'. It was no child's game today for Tyler Colvin. His first start of the 2013 season. All he did was record 4 RBIs off 2 home runs. I'd say it was a good night for him. We're also going to talk trademarks. Carlos Gonzalez will always remember Dan Herron as the guy that the Diamondbacks traded him to Oakland for. Well, a few teams later, tonight it's going to be Dan Herron that remembers Carlos Gonzalez as the guy that put him in line for the loss tonight with his 3-run blast in the 5th inning. Of course, we'll get you into the clubhouse. We hope it's a victorious one, but we got a lot of long balls to talk about on the Toyota postgame show. It's coming up right after the game, Drew.
Jenny, I really like it to be a victory with a 5-run lead here in the 9th inning. Rockies looking for 3 more outs, and then we'll check in with Jenny again. Rob Scahill will throw the 9th inning with the Rockies up by 5 as opposed to Rex Brothers.
And with his ERA where it is, 5.54, you take 2 games out of those games he's pitched in. The ERA is very special. And Rob, one of those guys that can run it up into the mid-90s, got a slider to go along with it.
Chad Tracy, veteran's going to pinch hit. It's kind of Chad's role now. Later on in his career, always been a good hitter. A lot of years in Arizona.
I remember all those things that Remember that Gomez talked about, or Gonzalez talked about, Luis Gonzalez, when Tracy came up, he said this kid's got all kinds of power, and then the injury bug hit him for a little bit. Things didn't continue in the right direction for him. Tracy on the year as a pinch hitter, 143 overall, but 4 for 26 as a pinch hitter, a home run and an RBI.
And a strike at 90 miles an hour. And an easy play for DJ LeMahieu, 1 out. And that'll bring up Denard Span. Span provided Washington with an early lead, a 2-run double with 2 outs in the second inning against Jolie Chassin, who is on the plus side. Chassin wasn't super sharp by any stretch. 5 innings, a couple runs, 7 hits, couple walks, 2 strikeouts. But he's in line for his first victory since April the 19th.
Golly, it just doesn't seem like it should be that long, does it? Man, oh man.
Not with his stuff. How about that play? 2 outs.
Yeah, standing ovation out of the crowd on this one.
It did somebody else.
Yeah, right on top of that line drive, kind of just reached back over the shore. Scahill, a very good athlete, leaned back over, was able to snag this, preventing it from getting into center field. Mike Shaw Subaru Super Bowl really see this illustrated as he goes after it.
Now,
nice catch.
It's a great play. Fortunately, it was below the barrel, which probably what you think, George, took about 15-20 miles an hour off.
But I will tell you, as a former pitcher, when it's coming at you like this, it's 100 and 900 miles. I mean, it's like flying right at you, and that's where, you know, you're lucky to get a leather on it, because by the time you release that ball, you're not 60 feet 6 inches anymore. You're about 55 feet, and even closer at times. It's a spooky deal.
Oh, and 2 on Steve Lombardozzi. Rockies 1 strike away. Foul tip. And the 1-2. Ground ball to Tulowitzki. He waits, he's got it, and the Rockies have defeated the Nationals in the first of 3, 8-3. They come from behind to do it, down 2-0 early. That man was special in his first start of the year, Tyler Colvin. A couple of 2-run home runs. Jolie Chassin gets the win. He's now 4-3. Dan Herron takes the loss. He's 4-8. And the Rockies are all alone in second place in the NL West, as San Francisco lost earlier today. Arizona is in Los Angeles. They're up 2-0 in the middle innings. Tonight's Jimmy John's Freaky Fast delivery of the game is brought to you by Jimmy John's. Tyler Colvin came to bat in the 5th inning with his club down 2-0, and he hit a towering home run inside the foul pole and right. That tied it. And then later on, with the Rockies ahead 5-3, some insurance in opposite field jack. Welcome back, number 21, Tyler Colvin. Good to see you. Visit JimmyJohns.com to find a location near you. Rockies win it tonight 8-3 over the Nationals. We invite you to stick around. The Toyota postgame show with Jim Cavanaugh.